Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you so much, team. I just appreciate all of the labor and the energy that has been put into cultivating such a divine space. And so we're going to start off right, okay? And I'm going to ask you all to clap with me, okay? So you don't have to come off me, but just clap with me, okay? We're gonna heal when the spirit says heal. We're gonna heal when the spirit says heal. When the spirit says heal, we're gonna heal, oh Lord. We're gonna feel when the spirit says feel. We're gonna fight when the spirit says fight. We're gonna fight when the spirit says fight. When the spirit says fight, we're gonna fight, oh Lord. We're gonna fight when the spirit says fight. We're gonna build when the spirit says build. We're gonna build when the spirit says build. When the spirit says build, we're gonna build. Oh Lord, we're gonna build when the spirit says build. Oh, I again am just humbled to be here. I am representing, as we said, the Work and Families Party. We're going to get into that in a second. Right now, I want to ask folks to please pull out your cell phones if you can. I'm going to share a presentation so we can just get in the room, and see how folks are feeling and where you're at and, what you're holding. So let me share this screen so we can do that together. So this technology is called Mentimeter. It is so phenomenal. And what this allows us to do, hold on, I want you all to be able to see, bada bing, this right here. So if you go to www.menti.com and type in the code 81120279, and or you can just scan the QR code. Once you get there, show me those thumbs up on the screen if you can, okay? I'll be able to see the little thumbs up fly across the screen once folks start to give them to me. Yep, hit it on the technology. So not thumbs up to me, but thumbs up on the technology so we can see how many folks. Boom, we got 2 thumbs up. Let's go. We have 3 thumbs up. That's right. That's how I know that my folks are ready to roll, is by the amount of thumbs up that we have in the technology. Yes. 5 folks are in there. That's right. 6 folks are in there. That's right. Okay, we're going to wait for a few more and then we're going to get rocking. All right. First question. How are you feeling? Check in with your body, check in with your mind, check in with your spirit. How are you? And let's see it. Yes, the votes are coming in. Okay. We are, as a group, skewing right in the middle. We are right. We are right. I got 2 people that's like, I'm ready. I'm ready, sis. Let's do this, right? And some other folks are like, I'm here. And that's okay too. We're here together. And somebody does not want to be anywhere else right now but doing this presentation. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Wonderful. All right. So let's see. First question. If the U.S. two-party electoral system, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Democrats and the Republicans, right? The folks that's making all this stuff happen, okay, around us that we see happening in Washington, right? If that was a movie title, what would the title be and why? I love it. We coming in hot, Dumb and Dumber. If the U.S. two-party electoral system had a movie title, what would it be? These are so good. All right. We got Idiocracy, Crazy Folks, Yikes, Bad to the Bone, Parent Trap. We are effed. Are you surprised? Like, really? Yeah, these are great. I love it. I love it. All right. And we have all 8 folks that got on. Yep, put in their information. I love it. Okay. All right. Next one. If politicians were a weather forecast, what would it be and why? U.S. politicians. Give us the forecast. So we have global warming catastrophe, right? It's going down. We have a drought, okay? Because we're not necessarily getting what we need, okay? Folks are without. Hurricane season. Folks say it's coming down. Wintry mix. I like the wintry. I like that. When you're told it'll be sunny, but it's actually a storm. Come on. Yes. Somebody lied to somebody. Oh my God. The weather person they are the only working people that can, be consistently wrong and keep their job. I'm just saying, it's real. Wildfires, yes. Cloudy with a chance of extinction. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, tornado. Fair weather. Fair weather? Yes. All right. This is wonderful. My last question for you all to get us warm and ready. In one word, why do you fight for change? What's your why? Beautiful. So this word cloud, the way it's set up, the words that are bigger, right? If we happen to see a word that's bigger, it means more than one person put that in, or the most amount of people put that in. So right now, hope and love have been put in by the most people. Wonderful. A future. We fight for our ancestors. We fight for compassion's sake. We fight to be safe. We fight for equity. We fight for justice. We fight for our siblings. We fight for our people. We fight for our humanity. We fight for change. We fight for compassion. We fight for the love and for the hope of a better tomorrow and a better today. Yes. Beautiful. And we have more folks on the presentation. Y'all better do it. Y'all bad to the bone. Okay. So that was just to get us warm. I would say what I noticed, right, with the weather forecast and with the titles of our movies, is that we're not feeling too good about the political system and what is currently happening, but specifically this two-party electoral system as it is. It's something that I just saw a lot of good critique, a lot of real good, strong critique. So we love that. So let's dive in. Let's dive all the way in. We're done with Mentimeter for now. I'm going to share a different screen and we're going to rock. I'm going to ask for a lot of support and help in the chat input. I'm going to ask folks to come off mute, talk to me, all that good stuff, okay? So this is the foundation, okay? The foundation. The Working Families Party is a party of regular people coming together across our differences to make a better future for us all and a better now for us all. We are on a mission to build the working class, multiracial, feminist party of our dreams. We fight for workers over bosses, for people over the so-called powerful, because we're powerful too, right? We want in America, we want a world which realizes the promise unrealized in our history. We know that we can be free. We know that we deserve equity. We know these things. We want to earn enough to thrive. Ain't nobody trying to just survive, right? We want to leave a better future for the unborn. They deserve that. We want healthy food, clean water, safe neighborhoods, a safer world, because it's our birthright. We want to be free because we know who we are and whose we are. Over the last couple decades, the Working Family Party has pled, contended, fought, right, in this political electoral system. And we have won. We have had plenty of success. We truly have. We have also experimented and we have made plenty of mistakes. That's what it's about. That's what the work of political struggle is about, right? Doing it scared, not being afraid, right? To move forward. And if you are afraid, don't let the fear be in the driver's seat, right? It can be a passenger. Strap it in. But we got to keep moving, right? And keep contending for power, right? We have to, because power concedes nothing without demand. Nobody is going to just come say, hey, here's all the stuff we took from you. Here's all the stuff we never wanted you to know. Here's all the stuff, right, that we have been hoarding for far too long. And so The Working Families Party, like I said, we've been experimenting. We've been doing some stuff, some bold, audacious stuff, right? And we have dared also to win some stuff, y'all. We have dared to win some stuff along the way, and that's really, really important for us to, claim no easy victories and tell ourselves no lies. Okay? You want to be revolutionary? Don't claim no easy victories and don't tell yourself no lies, right? And watch the world around you become more powerful, right? That's what it's about. Okay? So what are we going to do today? I want to go back just a little bit. So we're in our intro and foundation. We're going to talk a little bit about the context of the U.S. political system. Like, what the heck is going on? We want to talk about how we build power, what we believe about elections. We'll talk about some upcoming actions and opportunities, and then we're going to get out of here and continue to go make our lives beautiful, right? So this party idea is something that is not new, okay? It's not new in thought or strategy. It's not something that some random folks just came up with. We are inspired by third political party forces that have come before us, people like Mama Fannie Lou Hamer, right? Who together with others founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. They challenged the segregationist politics of the Democratic Party. This was back in the 1960s, right? That they were shaking things up and daring to create outside of just Democrats and Republicans, but saying, no, we need something else, right? We also take inspiration from La Raza, the Unidad Party, which fought for Chicano self-determination and political power. It's beautiful. We walk in the footsteps of the Socialist Party, right? Which has a long history of organizing for worker-led governance, meaning folks controlling stuff. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I am not a fan of people using big words and speaking over each other's heads. I'm not a fan of that, right? We got to make it plain and make it simple. This don't need to be rocket science, right? We're trying to get free, right? This is where governance means controlling stuff, okay? So yes, the Socialist Party has a long history of folks, workers, the people who work the hardest, the people who unfortunately have the least, controlling stuff and making systemic change. These are some of the shoulders that we stand on, right? And so we pay homage and respect to the ancestors who did it before us. Because although we are doing something bold, audacious, crazy even, again, folks also had the same kind of thoughts we have, right? Which gives us fuel. So as Fannie says here, we have to build our own power. We have to win every single political office that we can. We take that guidance as a baton every day so we can push into new territory, okay? We are trying to seed new ground in a real way. But we have some challenges. There's some challenges. Folks have told us that racially, we ain't gonna figure it out. That gender-wise, we supposed to be at each other's throats. That class-wise, it's no way that we gonna make this thing work. But guess what? We are gonna have to build solidarity across all those lines. We are gonna have to ask the ultra-wealthy, now hear me out. We're gonna have to ask the ultra-wealthy, all those, we're gonna organize them people. And guess what? They're gonna become class traitors. And they're gonna take all that guilt that they have from all that money, right, that they've been toting, that they got through terrible historical acts. And they're gonna give it to these movements and help us change the world. We're gonna take the working poor or poor class folks who cannot even go work, right? And we're going to organize and mend and build and pull our people together and come together across class. We are going to black, white, blue, gray, purple, brown, come together to shake this system at its bones and let them know there's a real 99% that y'all been screwing over. And we are not okay with it. And no, we are not simple enough, right, to believe that we can't make this thing happen together across our racial, not just issues, traumas, pain, turmoil, right? To know that, well, we got some stuff in common and it's that this system is not working for us. So that means we're going to have to figure it out. Gender, we're going to have to figure it out, right? We will not avoid, okay, these kind of fights. And they cannot tear us asunder any longer. So at the Working Families Party, we have a North Star goal, okay? We believe that a multiracial conglomeration of people, folks across all the different identities, specifically focusing on the working class, right? To be able to get this thing done. Now, this is the goal. Now we get more targeted, boop, right? Working class. Those specifically who have the least but work the hardest. We want to control the government. Control it. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I am a radical. I am a revolutionary. That is my training. That is my political training. That's my walk. When I first came to this, to Working Families Party, I've been here for about 6 years now. I was a person who came, and guess what? Not into electoral politics. Because my understanding, my philosophy was like, okay, they're not going to let us vote ourselves to freedom. So what are we doing, right? They're not about to let us just, right, get together and cast a ballot, right, to remove the shackles and chains. So what's the point, okay? And when I learned, okay, through just the conditions, right? The conditions will radicalize you, but the conditions right now will also electoralize you, right? This is a time where the radical are being electoralized and the electoralized are being radicalized. Folks are looking at this last election like, what the heck did we just do, right? What just happened on our watch? And it's this mandate, this North Star right here that gives me anchor, that lets me say, hold on, wait, you mean to tell me we trying to take over the government? Take it over? It don't get no more radical than that. So as much as this tactic of elections, it don't feel so sexy and it might not be so cute, and right, it might be like, oh, it's male, pale, stale, right? That's stuff that white organizers be doing, right? All that elections, right? And then we also know there's a completely different story where we say, who saves the US every single time? If it's not Black women voting in the South, I don't know who it is, right? So depending upon who you speak to, right, you'll get this deep critique on electoral politics. Yeah. It's not working for us. And then you'll get this other piece where you get the mamas, the aunties, the brothers that's like, well, shame you. You better be voting. You better not let them, right, make some decisions without you being engaged, right? And so everybody's having this big conversation. But what are we going to do? What does it say about our power? We need this North Star goal where we say we're going to take this government over from local office all the way to federal office, okay? So what is the context, right? We talked a little bit about it. You all bought your genius, right? In like a comedic way, right? Because the questions were comedic about the weather forecast and the movies. You all also talked about some pain. It's some pain there when you like, dang, the system I live in is Dumb and Dumber. The system I live in is, apocalyptic catastrophe, right? That's some deep stuff. So let's talk about what it is that we're dealing with. Now I want to ask y'all some questions. What are the main struggles right now in these United Snakes of America? What are the main struggles?
We want to talk?
Yeah, you can speak.
Economic.
Wait, are you unmuted?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean.
So we have economics is an issue. What about economics?
We need money to survive in this society. People don't
We
have
need-
money.
We need money to survive. But what, I mean, you got some, sis, they might have money. I know some people, they got money. So why is economics an issue?
People are homeless, people are starving. People can't afford to go to school.
Yep.
People can't afford basic needs.
Yep. What else? Thank you so much for sharing. What else? What are the struggles?
In the chat, we got educational access, inequality, poverty, housing stability, food security, wealth gap in work.
Thank you so much, Janoya. I see it. Anti-Blackness. Thank you, Mari. Yes. Quite a few struggles. Yes, I hear somebody else.
Extreme individualism.
That's right. Rugged individualism. Mm-hmm. But let me ask a question. We come together, we go to the festivals, right? We spend time, we hang out, we have family reunions. Are we really individualistic?
Yes, still.
Like, I'm not playing these games with you. Yes, you heard me. That's right. That's right. So I agree. I agree. So, okay, thank you all for bringing this into the room. So one of the things that are really important, right, about this piece of the main struggle in America, because I'm going to offer some things and put it at you all's footsteps. And what I'm going to say is a very electoral-based analysis of the problem at hand, okay? So let's do it. So the main struggles in America, right, these are things I want to offer to you all, on top of everything y'all just said, okay, is that there is an authoritarian white nationalist takeover of the political system. There are white folks who are like, we've been waiting for a person like a Trump, right, to come so we can show our true colors, right? And we can let, you know, the insert derogatory name, right? We can let all them people know what white power is really about. Okay, so we have that happening right now. The Republican Party is not also just the party of Donald Trump, right? That's not all that's happening. It's becoming the party of this white nationalism, authoritarianism, right? It is a clear and present danger to all of us, okay, even themselves, right? We have the Democratic Party that's controlled by very wealthy and corporate forces. It's fair to say that most elected Democrats want to defend some important gains that they feel, right, and movements for freedom and equity made, right, basic rights. Okay, we're talking about Black and Latinx folks. We're talking about women and LGBTQIA folks. But the party as a whole, when we look at the Democratic Party and its donors in particular, right, mainly agree with Republicans on some fundamental things. Okay, they're in agreement, like the structure of our political system, our economic system, right? They don't want to tax the rich, right? They, you know, and change taxation on the system, right? So there are some things where folks looking at the Democratic Party like, hold up, what you mean? Which side are you on, right? So we also have the Democratic Party losing working class people of all races. Okay, folks are like, walk peace, deuces, I'm done with that, right? And so this is directly connected to the party being controlled by wealthy and corporate influences, right? Because working class folks are just like, you know what? I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I didn't work for y'all. I didn't organize. I didn't knock on the doors. I didn't make the calls. I didn't did text banking. And guess what? We still ain't winning. And now look, right? And folks are going home. They over it. We also have the two-party system, right, that limits our ability to maneuver as an independent party, right? A party that is seeking to hack the system and not play by the rules. We don't want to be Democrat, Republican. We are working families party, right? We are actually seeking to address the needs of working class people. And the two-party system says, y'all are just a spoiler. We're going to try to knock y'all, you know, lock y'all out, right, of being able to have access to political funding, to engagement, to press, to infrastructure, to data, right? And so we have to continue to build our own. Now I'm gonna pause, okay? I told you I wanted to take y'all's genius, start there, and then put some things at y'all's feet about what we kind of see as from the electoral side, right, of all these problems that we have, right? What actually is going on and what's some analysis behind it. Now, question in particular, how do we see this part happening? Democrats losing working class people of all races. How can have folks seen this happen? What do folks think about how this is happening?
I have to say, I haven't seen that happening. I think that is a popular narrative and analysis, but and everyone's lives are different, but I can't say I've seen that happening.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you for that. And let me ask a question. You saying that you have not seen that happening means you're saying the folks you know, your community, they are locked in with the Democrats. They are actively, you know, moving boots to the ground, to the polls, and they are engaged and locked in with the Democratic Party.
No, however, they
Okay.
are voting. They are voting for Democrats. So the people that I know, I think, hold their noses and vote for Democrats.
I like that. That was a good picture.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I think we need to, hold the people that look like us accountable, because we have a lot of, people that look like us in office, Democrat, that are basically leading us to slaughter, like, they're not doing anything for us politically, but, you know, how can I be in office and I can't represent my people that look like me? I wouldn't even feel comfortable being a politician, and I can't do anything for the people that look like me. So you talk about white power, but we also have to address the people who are trading us, our own people, that are not doing anything for us. And I didn't say the word black, but you know what I'm talking about?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so speaking about, let our skin folk be kin folk, but also in general, folks who share our same maybe potential interests or story or, historic oppression background, that you want to make sure that we can hold them accountable, so that when they get into office that they are acting in our interests and acting like they remember who got them there in a lot of cases. Yes, 1,000%. Let me see what my chat is talking about. Yep, talking about the Black families. Yep, that went for Trump, 1,000%. Is there a reason that this is extended to the Grand Old Party and not the Dems as well? And Mari, just so I understand your question, you're saying the authoritarian white nationalist takeover?
Yes, because the Dems are being taken by authoritarian white nationalists as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, the whole system is for sure. If we were to power map it, we have these little weird circles. And basically, if you see the Democratic system here and the Republican system here, the takeover that you're talking about, it would show it coming like this and eating the Republican Party. And then where the concentric circles, right, where they overlap, that's where you start to see it eating the Democratic Party. But it's definitely coming from the Republican side. And then it is encroaching upon, right, and taking over, like you said, that Democratic side, 1,000%. Yeah, let's keep moving. So look at this, okay? This thing is called converging crises, okay? This is a way to discuss and look at change as it has happened in the US over time, right? We're taking like the last 30 years or so, right? There's been, of course, growing inequality. And then there's also been this changing role of the United States in the world, right? It is becoming even less powerful. There is climate change that has smacked us in the head. There is changing gender norms, right? You have the LGBTQIA civil rights movement, as I like to call it. That's what we are living through. Folks are coming, everybody's coming for their rights, okay? We have racial reckoning, right? Where folks are like, okay, right? There is going to be a new majority in the United States, okay? So with that, you have this like deep fear, right? With white folks around being extinct and extinction and all the things that kind of flurry, right, the feathers of white pseudo supremacy, right, and get white nationalist folks all scared, right, is realizing that Latino folks are going to be a majority in the US. And so you have all these things. So when you look at these changing trends, you start to see these movements pop up, right? And you start to see power dynamics change, right? And you start to see, almost like a few different dynamics, right? You see one aspect of people and identity, class, status, right? Start holding on to their seatbelt, right? And then you see another group of folks, right? AKA us, like pitchforks out. We got pitchforks out. We like, okay, we gotta keep going, right? Because we're not gonna keep this, everything the way that it is, right? This is why we're in the current situation that we're in right now, which is still uncomfortable for us as it has been, right? And so it's good to just kind of see what are some of the factors that play into change in the United States and what has happened. And when you have mass change, right, happening, and you get kind of like the shaking of the ground of a country, you have this experience where there is an opportunity, right, for new leadership, right? And this can take, usually you have something called a demagogue, and that's like this charismatic leader, right, that folks are like into, right? You had Bernie Sanders and that kind of wave. You had, some kindlings of Elizabeth Warren, right, where folks are like, oh my God, we're going to make change. And then you have the other side, this person, right? And so it's like a storm coming into the United States, right? Blowing the winds of change, right? And seeking to now take shape and make reality take shape towards one set of politics or another set of politics, okay? And so with that, the mandate of the Working Families Party is to block and build, right? And this was our electoral strategy and our presidential strategy for 2024. And it continues to be the mandate. We are blocking some things and we are building some things. Now, these 4 points that you see here, 2 in black, 2 in white, these are the same ones I just showed to you about the main struggles in the United States. We have to block authoritarian white nationalism. We have to block the two-party system and change the rules so that we can play in it and take it over. We have to also make sure that we build, not necessarily the Democratic Party, but that we make sure that we can build our people who are walking away, right? Peacing out from the Democratic Party and or standing strong with it to be able to transform how we envision, how we dream, what we think is possible, what we think can happen, right? Within that party, but also outside of, right, the Democratic Party. We also want to, take that party back, right? Frankly, from the affluent voters and corporate forces, right? Because there are times as the Working Families Party where we have to play as a faction of the Democratic Party, right? And then there are other times, places where we have ballot lines of our own, where we stand on our own without connection to the Democrats or Republicans at all. I'll give you an example. In Philadelphia, it's a two-party town. We took it over. It's the Democrats and it's Working Family Party. That's it. We run the place, right? And so there's no Republicans on the city council, right? That's what I mean. And we have a ballot line there. So when folks vote, they get to vote Working Families Party, Democrats, or Republicans, right? And we created the conditions, organized the heck out of things, had 2 amazing candidates. One, a Nicholas O'Rourke, wonderful brother, pastor. Like, he's like absolutely dope. We have Kendra Brooks, teacher, school teacher, single mother of 4 girls, like making life happen, right? And they are leading in the city council as Working Families Party champions, right? But that's an example where we didn't have to play with the Democratic Party. We got a chance to say, okay, take things over here. In another space where we may not have a ballot line, right? Like, for example, in Massachusetts, there is no Working Families Party on that line. We are operating until we create our own party, right? And continue to create the conditions to do that with partners, with community, with everybody. We are now making sure that we can take Democratic elected leaders and make sure that they are Working Families Party champions, right? That is a part of our work. So I want to pause specifically on the US political system, what we're blocking, what we're building, what are some of the crises that we've had to respond to, right? Does anybody have any questions about this before we move forward?
I have a question.
Talk to me.
Do you see, if you go to the last slide that you had up before what questions do you have? Do you see connection between affluent voters and class traders?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are. So, but this is the thing. When we talk about affluent voters and when we talk about class traders, we're generally talking about 2 different classes of people. I'll explain why. We have class traders that fund our work and what we do. Now, we're talking about ultra rich folks, right? Who are ready to like sign a check, give away granddaddy's money, right? Like, from the various different sources, right? Trust funds and trust, right? We're talking about that. When we talk about affluent voters, we're talking about everyday, general, rich folks, right? Not ultra, right? But that are voting in the Democratic, right, space and are seeking to kind of take over and put a bunch of money in politics. And right. So it's almost like different levels of wealthy that we're talking about, right? But yes, they are connected. And yes, that is a organizing point to speak to affluent voters about how are we really spending, right, this money? What is it going to? How is it impacting political outcomes, right? And what can we do? What can we do about it to make sure that it's actually serving our interests and not fighting against our interests? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Okay, let's keep going for the sake of time. I'm looking at my time. I'm like, oh God. Okay. So how do we build power, right? How do we do it? Now, we have a strategy. So we are creating a new center of gravity on the political map. We want to build and exercise governing power for by and of working class people of all races. Now, when I say new center of gravity, remember those circles I was telling you about? In those circles, right now, there is a center of gravity where the American electorate tends to skew, right? And that skews more conservative, right? More status quo, more keep things the same, right? Than what we would want it to. And now we got to see in this last federal election that it skewed blow it all up, right? And people skew blow it all up with Donald Trump because they're like, look, just anything to change this nonsense, just anything, right? To try to not have an established candidate, right? Establishment candidate, the ones that are going to do politics as usual. They're going to keep the status quo. They're going to make everything, they're going to put flowers on the poop, right? And knowing that they're not going to serve our interests, but they're going to smile and check and jive and be good old Democrats, right? And try to make us feel like we need to accept the political reality as it is. Folks are like, nah, right? Gangster style, like, we done with that, right? So now Donald Trump is here. And folks are like, all right, Trump, give me something, bruh. I know you're crazy, right? But you might give us something better than a Hillary Clinton would have given us, right? So give me something, right? Folks waiting. And they're waiting, and they're gonna be waiting, right? They're gonna be waiting, and it's and now folks are realizing, oh shit, this person is not about to meet our interests, our needs. They don't even have an actual plan to govern around here. They don't even have a plan to do anything real, right? Other than robots, right? Like Elon Musk is running. So people are like, oh my God, this is a catastrophe, right? And so what we have to do is look at, okay, where is the broad electorate? Where are folks skewing? We want to create a new center of gravity. We want to move folks to the left of politics, where folks can say, we deserve it all, right? We deserve the free healthcare. We deserve, right, the union job, right? We deserve the jobs that pay so we don't have to work 4 of them. We deserve it all, right? We're trying to move the common sense. Now, how are we trying to do all this stuff? This is our power building model. When you see these circles in the middle, it's governing power. Who remembers what governing power is? Let's see. I'm looking at this chat too. Who remembers?
Did you say what it was?
What was that?
Did you say what it was?
Yeah, I said it. Let's see.
Okay.
Somebody wrote in the chat. Control. Nikki said
yeah.
control. Okay, let me see. Okay. So governing power is in the middle. We're going to talk more about it in a little bit. Let's go with control. I like it. Now, our primary intervention as the Working Families Party, the way that we seek to get the governing power is through elections. Okay. So we are different than a community organization. We are different than a social movement. Okay. We are different than a labor entity. Yet we need all of it. That is the infrastructure of the left of politics, meaning one leg of the stool. Just imagine a stool, 4 legs, 4 legs on it. And just imagine if you take, right, the Boston Ujima Project or community entities like it away, guess what's going to happen to the stool? Boop, it's falling. If you take away, right, the labor SEIU, right, take away United Food and Commercial Workers Union, take the unions away, the stool going to go boop. Y'all get the point. We're saying if you take away a true political party, right, not the stuff, not just a social movement, not, oh, we so excited, people marching in the street. No, we're talking about a political party that's going to run candidates, that's going to take power, that's going to actually legislate, right, with enforce, that's going to like actually do what we need done in the halls of decision making, right, like that. If you take that away, the stool also falls, right? So we have to plan elections, right? Even though it's like not sexy, right? It's not cute. Now, also, our constituency is the multiracial working class, right? So that means we're disciplined. We are not just fighting for anybody, everybody. We're not. We're fighting for the multiracial working class. And our form, again, like I said, is a party. We are not seeking to take power away, you know, or take members away, even though we have membership. We're not seeking to take members away from our other community partners, right? No, we got to all work together to build infrastructure that's going to be lasting, that's going to be durable, that's going to be strong. So again, we come back to this question. What the heck is governing power? We work to create and support big changes that give more resources and power to our people instead of the rich and the powerful. Our goal is for our ideas to become the new normal in how government works. When I say the new normal, let me tell y'all, one of the best spaces I've ever been politically was being in Cuba. In Cuba, you're there. You have the black folks that if you go there, you're black, you get, you know, you can go to school for free, right? Everybody goes to school for free, but generally, specifically, you have these black folks who are there and they go to medical school for free. It's amazing, right? You know, you get to see folks, right? They have their child care, their family care, their health care, all these things, right? You get to go to Sweden, Norway, right? There's so many different places you can name, and you look at the social safety net, the fabric that they have, right? More socialist policies. And there you start asking people about things like being able to take a siesta in the middle of the day, you know, having to like fight to get your prescription drugs, being able to have enough money to go to college or to be able to have, you know, for your children to be able to go to a school that's going to be able to teach them the way that they need to. And they look at you and they say, yeah, why would you be concerned about that? Everybody has that. It is normal, right? We're fighting for that kind of government, right? We're fighting for that kind of space, for it to be normal for folks to say, oh yeah, childcare, of course, right? Paid family leave, of course. Paternal leave, maternal leave, like care for your children after you have them, let your body heal. These things are normal, right? And not like taboo. Right now, we live in a political fabric and system where those things are like, what are you, a
Doing this
communist?
work to the
Are you
best of our
crazy?
ability.
Right? And we're like shifting these things. You understand? So we are working to control the government. The answer to the question is governing power is controlling the government. We don't want to be incrementalists. We're not just seeking to be assimilationist. We're trying to take it over. And I told you I'm a radical, so I'm with all of it. I want all the smoke. Let's take it over, right? So let's talk a little bit more about, because that sounds really cute, but let's talk about the vision. We want the multiracial working class to lead so that, again, our interests, our needs, our pain, our joy, right, can become the common sense. It's common sense. You're not fighting for your dignity, your humanity no more, right? You know, it's like, we're getting it. That's what we want. We also want to move the resources and the power to our people and away from the harmful people, away from the harmful forces. Very simple. That's why we want governing power. Now, what this means is so cool to me. It's so cool. So it's like we have to organize candidates differently because I come from labor, right? Labor organizing. I'm a baby of labor organizing. I'm a baby of community and campus organizing out here in DC at Howard University. And with that, we had a model where we would say, forget those politicians. They're not our people. They are our target, right? The politicians would be our political target who we needed to take down by any means necessary, right? Kind of like the lasso. I just went to like the black rodeo and they would, you know, lasso the, right? You lasso the animal and you take it down, right? We want to take them politicians down and we don't want to hurt them, right? But we want to rough them up a little bit, let them know. Don't mess with our communities. When you get back in that office, you better do what we asked you to do, right? That kind of energy. Now, at the Working Families Party, we don't have that kind of energy. Why? Because we are actually recruiting, finding, training, investing in, running the campaign of, taking care of the elected officials. They're us. They're not the other. You get what I'm saying? This is the beautiful part. They're us for real, for real. Like, if you sitting in the chair right now, decides that you wanted to run, you could go talk to the folks organizing the Boston Working Families Party, and we could get you in office like that. And so it's like the you that you know you to be, right? Before you get all up in the political system, we want to help to preserve that. Your heart, your allegiances, your interests, your understanding that we know what it's like, right? To have that hurt and that pain and be frustrated with the system. So just the memory to say, oh, don't get in there and forget, right? We don't have to do all that hold you accountable stuff because guess what? We're rocking with you the whole way, right? You are a member of this party and not some powerful person now because you're an elected leader that goes off to go into the halls of creation. And now we're like throwing crumbs at your door. We don't play like that, right? So this is different. This is a different analysis, right? And me as a quintessential organizer, I didn't know this analysis. I was just like, get them politicians, right? Because we coming for them. But this is different. So now how we align with movement forces also has to be different. Like I said, so now when we say movement forces, I'm talking about, again, remember that stool. You have political parties, you have people's organizations, you have labor or entities, okay? And you have social movements. right? And so how we engage with those forces has to be different. Let me give you an example. We can't spend all of our staff, time, energy, and resources going out to the next Black Lives Matter, protest. We can't. Now hear me. We love it. We respect it. We with it. They are people. That's what we do. Yes. However, we got to support the candidate so that they are saying the right things, right? When the press comes out, when it's time to vote, right? After all that pressure was put and folks marched the streets and stormed the Capitol, whatever they did, right? Now we have our Working Families Party elected champions in office. We're supporting them. We're working with them. We're counseling them. Right? So the role is different. You see what I'm saying? The role is different as to how we engage. Now, this is the last thing I'll say about the operations piece. Issue-based organizing. There are candidates that we have had to support y'all, and guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. They sucked on some of the issues that we know we need for our people. And they would piss some of y'all off. They would say, I can't believe Working Families Party back that stupid candidate, right? However, if we're serious about governing power, guess what that means, y'all? We're going to have to build with the people that we have in principle struggle, right? To be able to say, how can we create the least amount of harm for the most amount of people? Sometimes we've had to look at political races and said, okay, both of them suck, but this one sucks a little bit less, right? And although we don't like the lesser of the two evils and all that nonsense, because we seem like we always have to make decisions like that, right? And it's ridiculous. However, we'll look and say, oh my God, if this really worst person takes over the school board, that means that this school is going to get defunded, which is the heart of the city of Chicago. So guess what? This candidate that may not be the best on women's issues, right, and on abortion rights, we're going to support them because guess what? We kept the school open, right? So we're talking about playing chess, okay, not checkers. We're talking about making some hard political decisions, even when some folks may be like, what the heck are they doing, right? We cannot just sit back and say, well, we didn't get the perfect candidate, so we don't want to be a part of it, right? We don't get to have adult temper tantrums about the political reality. But what we do get to do is say, we're going to lessen the contradiction. We're going to lessen the opportunities where we have to say, we don't like neither one of them. Because we're going to run a Working Families Party champion that we absolutely love, that we can get behind and get in front of and be in line with, right? And that can really do what we need done. But we build the conditions for that, right? As we support more candidates, build more candidates, support more candidates, build more candidates. And so we are actually using the governing power that we have, the influence and control that we have while building more of it. Are y'all with me? Okay. All right, I see some nods. So what the heck is the role of a political party? Let me ask y'all, what is a political party?
Building policies, laws, right? Something to back you up.
I like it. Yep. Let me check the chat. Okay. Yep, so we got building policies. Yes, let's keep going. That was wonderful. When folks think about political party, they definitely think about policies. They think about candidates. They think about platforms, for sure. I want to submit to you all this definition that we're talking about everyday people organizing together to win an election around a platform that means something to them, governed by a clear ideology that they can get with, right? Like an ideological understanding that takes our needs and our interests and centers us. It centers us, right? Now, this party idea, I love the answer that was given because it speaks to this idea. It speaks to the idea that when you say platform, ideas, right? You think about the Democrats, you think about ideas, platform, think about the Republicans. We got to have the same thing on the left of politics. If we know that the politics is not working for us, the Dems and Republicans, we have to have a political party force that says, okay, we're signaling to you all that we are a big party, right? Playing the big game of politics, and we are going to win, right? So we have to have the collective party brand, right? We have to have voters that say, I know WFP, I rock with them. I like them. That lady, Amtyh, came and talked a hole in the side of my head, and I like what she was talking about, right? We want people to remember, okay, Working Families Party is an option, right? This is something that can happen. Let's keep going. the party of our dreams. We're talking about a united ideology, political strategy, where we are running and winning elections, where we are actually accountable to our people, right? Our people are actually running it, where we are supporting aligned electeds, and we also build with them, right? We are teaching political and ideological and electoral skills, right? So that folks can now gain strategy to build. We are organizing a mass base of voters. We are recruiting the candidates that we really want and need, and we are consolidating our power with our activists, with labor unions, with movements, and with people's organizations, okay? This is what it looks like, the building. The talking to folks on the doors, getting out in the streets, being able to share what it is that we're doing and have folks be able to vote with their hands, make it happen. Parties have all these things. This is the infrastructure. We need money. We need a brand that's gonna be fly. Y'all remember the Black Panthers? They were a political party and they were fly. We will never forget the berets and the black and the beauty, right? They had a platform. Remember that 10-point platform people talk about all the time, right? Where they said, we're gonna feed our people for free. We're gonna fight the pigs or fight the police. We go, right? It was a platform that the Panthers had that folks could get with, right? They had an ideology that said, we are coming for everything that Black folks need, okay? Data and tech and infrastructure. This is 2025, right? When they say y'all can't have access to the voter files, what are we gonna do? We've been building our own. It's called Votivate. Let's go, right? We need experienced staff who actually know how to win a political election and campaign, how to actually build with candidates and navigate this crazy system. We need leaders, activists, right? And we need the voters. We need folks to really be with us, you know? What we believe about elections, okay, is really grounded by this core challenge that we have. We have to win the electorate that, basically we have to win with, the electorate that we have while we build the electorate that we need. What does that mean? That means it's so many people who have said, like we talked about earlier, I ain't doing that election stuff. I do a whole bunch of other stuff, but I ain't doing that election stuff. Nope. Didn't work, ain't gonna work, didn't work for me, didn't work for my grandma. I ain't about to keep voting and ain't nothing gonna change. I'm done with it. So that means who's coming out? Affluent folks coming out, white folks coming out, old folks are coming out. I'm speaking very straight, right? I'm speaking very straight. They're coming out. And Black folks coming out. But I'm gonna tell you, those other entities, the older folks, especially the more conservative, they come out. And they come out like clockwork consistently, right? And so we have to build the electorate that we need, right? On the way to working with the folks that we have. I'm gonna skip this. I wanna get here. Okay. We believe that elections is an essential intervention, that it has to happen, that we can't miss an electoral moment, right? When folks get all fired up about ideas, right? When folks, a new common sense is brought to the forefront, when, Alicia Garza put on Twitter that Black Lives Matter, and when it like sparked into a whole movement, now we have to think, how the heck does that change into tangible wins for Black folks? If our lives matter, then what are we doing with policing? If our lives matter, then what are we doing about ICE? If our lives matter, what are we doing, right? You know what I'm saying? About our ability to, have access to the type of healthcare that we need, right? That's what we mean. How do we make it policy, right? How do we codify it? We know that we need our people elected. We know that. We know that they've been elected for they, them, the other, the folks who are against us, the folks that don't believe what we believe, the folks that don't share our interests or our experiences. They've been getting elected. We need us elected. We also believe that direct voter contact and a really good message are important to win. When I say direct voter contact, this doesn't have to be transactional. We're talking about transformational. We're talking about people sharing their stories. We're talking about people sharing their hearts, sharing their art, sharing a piece of them. What have they been through? What have they survived, right? Talking to people, just getting in community and being people again, people being human again, taking the time to build with each other, right? To figure out, what do we have in common? What are we both struggling through? And what are we going to do about it? When we say a good message, people are tired of hearing BS, y'all. They tired of being sold stuff that they know ain't real. They tired of only seeing electoral entities come into their, communities when it's time for elections, right? But really this idea of a really good message that's going to be visionary, that's going to be inspiring, that's going to help folks to like dream again, feel again, think again in new and different ways. We need that, right? And we know that politics is about outcomes. It's not just about making statements. We are not in a position where we're going to be able to just talk the good talk, right? And not walk the good walk. These are some of the basic core things that we believe about elections and that we think, have been kind of devoid from the electoral process for far too long. I'm zooming through because of time, y'all. I apologize. I'm zooming through because of time. These are the places where we're chartered. These are the states where we are not chartered. You'll see Massachusetts is up there. You'll see where we have local chapters. You'll see where we are beginning to build. Yes, we are building in Hawaii. I love it. But Working Families Party is taking over. So when I say taking over, like you got to see, like we need all 50 states up here, right? We need to be chartered in all of them, right? Now, where we have a ballot line is even smaller. Chartered and ballot line, two different things, right? In New York, folks can go vote on our ballot line. In Connecticut, they can vote on our ballot line, right? Like I told you, in Pennsylvania, they are voting on our ballot line. This is amazing. We have to keep going. We have state power building plans because this is where the power happens. Now, I'm a national staff person. You're going to hear from our state folks next Ujima Wednesday and the next Ujima Wednesday after that. Hey. And so, but our state power building plans, right? That's where the power is, right? I could come do this training with y'all, but how does it translate to your specific political terrain, where you are right now? When you walk out of this space that you are in, right? And you go out into your neighborhood, the question then becomes, what do you see on your streets? How are you feeling? What's happening with your grocery stores? What's happening with your schools? What's happening with your babies and your elders, right? What's going on in your hospitals? That is the state power building plan, right? How we get to the power and get to the goods in your state specifically. We have one federally. I told y'all, we are not new to this. We are true to this, okay? So you may see some of these folks, Jasmine Crockett, she brings folks all the smoke, right? These are our candidates, for real, for real. Working Families Party candidates. We did that, right? Summer Lee, we did that, okay? So yes, give it up for these folks, right? Now, in Connecticut, in Rhode Island, now I want y'all to look. The names are fine. The pictures are cute, but I want y'all to look at what they won. This is not what they ran on. This is what they won. Automatic expungement for cannabis convictions, no rental application fees for tenants, Medicaid coverage for birth doulas, paid family and medical leave, increased special education fund. These are Working Families Party candidates where we scouted them, recruited them, ran their full campaign, and then they went and delivered for us. Okay? Run us our money and run us our, power, right? Run us our power. We need it. It's important. I'm gonna skip. Okay, we made it. Look at us, boom. Okay, so what's gonna happen with the opportunities to build with us? Like I told you, our folks are coming next Ujima Wednesday and the next Ujima Wednesday after that. Please come. Please come. We're gonna talk about winning power through elections. We're gonna talk about governing power with WFP electeds even more. We're gonna have one of our electeds come. The brother on the screen, that's Nicholas O'Rourke, that's one of the electeds I was telling you about in Philly. He's phenomenal. And great. We're going to skip this. It's wonderful. Maybe I'll let y'all see it at the end if you all have time. Okay. I want to ask folks to just take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. She said a whole lot of talking. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And I want to ask folks to just close your eyes for a quick second, okay? Take no responsibility for your body weight. Just try to be relaxed. Think about the smell of the fresh bread baking in a shop owned by the people who work there. Taste the ripe fruit from a market where every dollar stays in the neighborhood. Cycling through hands that care for each other. Feel the sun on your skin as you walk down streets filled with music and murals and the sweet taste of laughter. a place where safety is not policed, but it is nurtured. Step into a town hall, even, where every voice carries weight, where decisions are made not by the wealthy few, but by the many. Hear the chants of the workers that are winning higher wages, of families securing homes that they will never be pushed out of elders passing down wisdom to a generation that will inherit power and not struggle. This is the future we are in. A future where the Working Families Party and the Boston Ujima Project weave together political and economic and cultural power to return what has always been ours to us again. A future where our labor and our love and our leadership create a world where we are fed and we are housed and we are safe and we are nourished and we are free and we are grateful. Breathe in it, taste it, feel it in your bones, hold on to the song of it in your heart. And now open your eyes. Because together, we will make this reality real. And with that, I want to say that I love, respect, and trust each and every one of you all to help us continue to build and fight for what it is that we know that we need.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you, everybody. Please give it up for Yaye and the
Thank
Working
you
Families
so much.
Party.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
You can
y'all.
come through, you can send up some emojis.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah,
very
I'm gonna
much.
drop
Excellent.
it's a form in the chat so that you all
Okay.
can tell us, what y'all think. Y'all have 2 more weeks of us, so let us have it. Let us know how we doing.
Yes.
You can keep it
Thank
real.